fighting normally with everything we can have, and then there's guys who beat the game with only, I don't know, level 1 or just using the combat art, the base one, or something weird.
What is live chat? My stream elements going. Okay. Let's get high. Whew. What the fuck is viewer interactions? Oh, that. All right.
Hey, who would you say would win in a fight? Naruto or Ichigo? I saw a video and I need your hot take on it.
Is that like, are we talking like the primest that Naruto's ever been to the primest that Ichigo's ever been?
What's Primus?
Like, I mean, like, are we talking like base Ichigo versus base Naruto? Are we talking like Ichigo when he's the strongest he's ever been, and Naruto at the strongest he's ever been?
Both of them the strongest.
Okay. That's why I was like, it's a different answer either way. Like base one, I'd give it to Ichigo. You know what I mean? For sure. As far as like both fully overpowered at their max, it's hard to say. It's insinuated that it like in Naruto, it is pretty much confirmed that Naruto hits the peak that he ever could, right? But it's insinuated that Ichigo because he doesn't like by the end of it he still theoretically doesn't full master his full hollow heritage as well as well as his Quincy heritage as well as his Soul Reaper heritage or whatever. So it's insinuated that he could be better. Like it's insinuated that we don't actually ever get to see Ichigo in the manga at his prime. So it's hard to say. Personally, though, I would give raw power to Ichigo, but Naruto is gonna have speed and tactics. Because even when Ichigo if like goes hollow or something in that fight, Naruto's gonna stay experienced, especially at like old age Naruto. He's strategically sound. He is quite the shinobi or quite the ninja at that point. So it's hard to say. It's a close match. I want to give it to Ichigo, but I think Naruto might actually win in the end there. But Ichigo's powers, again, they don't really give us a stopping point saying like, hey, this is his absolute maximum. He wouldn't go any further. It's heavily implied it's the other way. So at his current state, maybe Naruto. But like if we were going into like theorization here, and he got to be like the full power that his like writer intended, then maybe Ichigo.
Okay.
What did they say?
They also said Naruto.
They said Naruto also?
Yeah, because they said they had a much stupider reasoning.
What's that?
That Ichigo's strongest attack apparently is only mountain level, and Naruto with his weakest attack is much stronger than that, and yeah, basically that.
Oh, were you watching, what's it called? What are the death battles?
I just said it on my for you, ending this goofy debate.
I was just curious, because a lot of the times, those, I'll give them props, because a lot of the times, death battles will actually break down the math. So they're like, look, we can prove that Ichigo has only used an attack to obliterate this much matter in the universe, whereas like Naruto has used an attack that has devastated like this large of a village or something. And so they actually do the math behind that. So if they did it, then I would definitely go off of their answer. But I do agree that Naruto probably would, sadly. But that is, again, based off of, like, the manga's prime for Ichigo, when it is insinuated that he never got to get to the best that he could be, at least in the manga. Because people constantly complain they didn't get to see some of the form / perfect execution of his powers.
Okay, because I think you can't really do a fight like that with any Soul Reaper. Because of the funny thing we heard at the beginning. Technically, if we don't include that, the fight would probably maybe end like that, what you said, but we are forgetting the gun in this fight. Because everybody who has no soul spiritual pressure can die by instant. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but see that doesn't matter, because like you're trying to use a way the anime describes something that's in every anime. You know what I mean? That's like saying that because Naruto doesn't have a power level, he wouldn't have anything anywhere, any capability of fighting Goku. It's like, no, that's just how they acclimate power. Same thing with spiritual pressure. That is just how they gauge power in that universe. So I do appreciate the thought. No, that is like Naruto in that universe would have a massive amount of spirit pressure. It is just baffling. Like he probably like, especially Naruto. If you're talking like we're talking about soul here, right? Naruto would probably have the fucking strongest soul that there has ever been in the Bleach universe. Let's be honest.
And why?
Why? Because think about it. Like he is he is the embodiment of human willpower. The idea of Naruto is literally like the typical shonen, the typical, you know, he's Goku, he's, you know, it's like the idea that humanity is always, you know, limited with and has like little odds against their enemy, but with willpower, love, teamwork, just like that was, I mean, literally the power for the universe, for Team 7's universe in Super was the power of teamwork. So that's like, based off that, Naruto would probably be even stronger in that universe. He would have a shit ton of spirit pressure, like absolutely. And let's just say for some reason, like, you know, he didn't right off the bat. All you'd have to give Naruto is like a fair amount of time for him to train in that universe, and then he would be easily at the same level, you know. But again, I think a lot of the time, like it's for like for instance, like Haki, in One Piece is the same thing. Like I feel like somebody with immense strength in the Naruto or the Bleach universe would have Haki in One Piece. That's just the only way to really translate the world's fair. In my opinion, anyway.
Okay.
Like for instance, it would be almost kind of like, you know, like if we used like quirks, we use quirks for my hero as a, you know, like that is the embodiment of power there, right? But if Naruto went to their world, he wouldn't be powerless. You know? He wouldn't be seen as, you know, weak, because he still theoretically has multiple quirks. So it's hard to say. I think it's just like, that is just, you know, almost always has to be some sort of test of power or show of power in anime. Otherwise it just doesn't, you know, that's just what an anime needs. And for Bleach, it's spiritual pressure. It's like, you know, if you don't have a certain amount of spiritual pressure, that like you wouldn't even make it with these all-stars. But it's kind of the same thing, or like Hunter x Hunter. It's like the what is it called in that?
Nen.
Nen? Yeah, it's the same thing. Like if you remember how like they get to that first level of the hotel or whatever, and he's like, you need to get a certain amount of Nen to even be able to approach this area, because everybody else there just has an indomitable amount of Nen that it's just impossible for it to not affect you. So it's almost, I feel like that would be almost the same thing. You know, if Naruto came to a world where Nen existed or whatever, because he's already in the upper leagues, he would probably have enough Nen to make it to that floor and higher already, because, you know, he is that strong of a person. He may not even have an understanding of the universes like Nen, but he would have it. That's the other fun thing too, like it also depends. Ooh, he hit me from behind. It also depends, like, whose universe. That also changes. Like, if they fought in Bleach's universe, then he would get spiritual pressure. Blah blah. They fought in Naruto's universe. He's not really. Ichigo's not really getting any bonuses. We don't really know if all of his powers would work. I assume they would still, obviously, but that's the things that really get me excited about those fights. Is like, yeah, the fight itself, but like, how would that work logistically? Would you have to take them both out of both of their universes and put them into like a vacuum void space? Only way to make it
That's
fair.
what I was thinking right now, to put it on a neutral ground.
Yeah, you know, like on a.
Just a place where they play rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah, it's just like, you know.
Then now a question. Then, if we were to send, not even in a fight or something, if we were to send Ichigo to Dragon Ball, where do you think he would scale?
Well, what's nice about Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z? You just mean Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball universe in general, right?
Yeah. And
so like,
and how would his abilities still work? Would still the sword or
so well,
without
first off,
the sword?
He because power level is easy, so like you could just almost directly translate spiritual pressure to power level. So he would have a really high power level. Like, obviously at this point, once you get to super, power levels don't really matter anyway. It's just kind of a gauge to give you an idea. But he would definitely, considering that like he's the MC and theoretically like he goes toe to toe with like Youthwhack in the end.
You can pace. Yeah.
And he like, and that's when Youthwhack has his what's it called?
Almighty.
Yeah, Almighty. So like, remind you, he doesn't do it by himself, and there's some moments where he gets some help, blah blah. But like that is so like
being able to survive.
That is the equivalent of like Naruto fighting. What's it called? Like in Boruto, the Ishikis or whatever they're called, the
Otsutsuki.
Yeah, the Otsutsuki. Yeah, so those guys, Otsutsuki, the Otsi Anyway, that would be the equivalent of him fighting him on solo ground. So he can, but so I don't know. I would say he's probably like I don't think he's Goku level power level. It's not fair, and it's not also. It doesn't also help that like Saiyans are cheaters. Me and Bobby were just talking about this the other day. Like, what a douchebag of a writer to literally make it so that the race on the brink of death just becomes stronger. What shitty writing. God, I love you, Toriyama. Rest in peace. But like, so it's not really fair. But I would say he's up there. You know what I mean? Like, he's probably like Golden Frieza / like Vegeta before he got his Ultra Ego in the manga. So maybe like his Royal Blue. So not quite Goku at Ultra Instinct, but pretty high up. But it's hard to say, because they're both main characters in shonens. Like, the whole point of a shonen is to be like on the edge of failure, to come back and and save the universe. Like, so that is literally both of their plot story points. So hard to say on that one. But I would say he would still be like, if it was around the super time and they were picking the fighters for the tournament, he would have made the cut.
He would have, or he wouldn't?
He would have, absolutely.
Oh, okay.
He would have, like, obviously he would have replaced Krillin at the worst, but he could have easily replaced. I would say he could have, like, if he wanted to, he could have been like Gohan's spot, 16 or 17 spot, Frieza's spot easily. But obviously, if he would taken Krillin's spot, that would have been an easy dub for him.
Mm. And would you think he would still have his sword, or would he have his techniques with his hands?
Sword. We have swordsmen in. I mean, look, we have Trunks using a sword. Who was that other dude? There's a couple people have swords. So it's not as often. It's not as common, obviously, but